Today we're going to be changing the gasket on the oil cooler. What I did was I jacked up the car. I took off the oil filter because I recently did an oil change. So don't want to waste all the oil. I'm about to put a 22 long socket on it and loosen it. And see if I could change the gasket without removing the coolant lines. It should give you enough space to pull it back. But obviously for a thorough clean, it'd be preferred to take off the coolant lines and take out the whole unit. Along with a 22 deep socket or a wrench. Shouldn't be on that tight. I'm being lazy. I have the aluminum underpan. I just don't feel like taking it off. If you have the factory one, you'll definitely have to get the plastic to access the oil pan. Just gonna let that drip out a little bit and let it finish dripping before we move on to the next step, physically removing the cooler. Always keep an oil pan on the bottom, trying to avoid making a mess of it not necessary. This will go a lot faster if you didn't just drive the car, but the oil is hot. Just, don't have time to let it cool down all the way. Should give you no space just to pull it forward now. We'll just let that sit there a little bit and drip out the rest of the oil. You're not going to pull it forward. You can see it's the seal's sitting there pretty good, but you can see it kind of has like a little gap in it. It doesn't look cracked anywhere. Still looks pretty soft and pliable. Doesn't look too bad. Just gonna finish cleaning it up a little bit. And might get it since I didn't take it off. I go grab a Q-tip with some super clean and get up inside the edges. I went to Nissan, bought the seal. I like to always double check if they look the same exact size. The Nissan seal looks a little bit thicker. This one might have been replaced before. Could it be no, I lied. This one's the factory seal. They used to come orange, but they got replaced with a black one. They're the same thickness. I got a Nissan. Felpro should work well, but I'd rather go with the OEM. 130,000 when I'm changing it. I put the super clean on a rag and then got the Q-tip to get inside the little crevice. So I guess somebody must have worked on it before and damaged it. You know how they do. O-ring doesn't look bad. I don't see any visible cracks or anything on it. And it's still kind of soft, so it's not like it didn't get baked. But you know, this from factory, things tend to fail. It was a slight leak, so it's not like I was pouring oil, but it was dripping only when the car was on. And it happened, well, it got worse after I replaced the oil pan, gasket, and the crush washer. Because that's where I was leaking also from those two spots. So I guess once I sealed the other two spots, it started putting more pressure towards this seal, which was already going out. I knew it, I just didn't have the seal on the moment. I'm gonna put a little bit of the old engine oil on it, just so you never put the seal in dry. I said my engine oil wasn't bad, but as long as you put some oil on it so it gets moist, that way it'll sit right in. It'll help with the sealing process. Little groove for it. Should just sit in place. And now, you know, it's sitting in place. You're just gonna turn it around, re-thread it back in. You should tighten it. I believe it's 36 foot-pounds of torque when you put the screw back in. Now you line it up. It's still kind of loose. You know, you line it up. If you took off the hoses, the straight one goes to the bottom. And there's a squiggle. The other one kind of has like a little arc in it. That one goes up. There's a small bend. That's if you took off the hoses. You always want to put things back on the proper way. You gotta tighten it. And then it's 36 foot-pounds of torque, I believe, so it shouldn't be that tight. I'm gonna need my two hands to hold it still while I tighten the cooler. From here, I'm just gonna replace my oil filter. Again, remember, always put oil on the seal, so it's easier to come off and it has a better seal. Then since we didn't drain the oil, I'm gonna go up top and check how much oil is missing. And then, you know, replace the oil and then turn it on. I want to see if it's gonna leak. For now, everything's looking good. It's not leaking from behind the cooler anymore. It used to fill up right here, full of oil. That's where we'll come back and see if it continues to leak or. We'll come back and check it out. It should be good. I did the oil pan and I changed the crush washer. I did the oil pan gasket and I changed the crush washer on the drain plug.